What a day it was for Chicago Blackhawks fans. From the jersey retirement of Chris Chelios to Patrick Kane scoring the overtime goal in his return to United Center, the Blackhawks had a phenomenal day all around from fans, players, and everything else. We have a lot of news to talk about today, as well as the game, the whole day as well, from the events that they had prior, as well as post-game. And, we just have a lot to talk about, and a lot of good things for the Chicago Blackhawks. But before we get into all of this, we notice that 78% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. So if you want to join the channel to see all your news from around the Chicago Blackhawks, trades, signings, reports, rumors, you're in the right spot. Make sure to hit the sub button and join us along to hopefully Macklin Celebrini and the first overall pick. But before we get into all of this game stuff here, I wanted to talk about Lukas Reichel. We have a pretty big update from him in the AHL, and it seems like that AHL stint is quite working out well. A very small sample size from him so far, but he seems to be back, looking like he's back to what he wanted to be earlier this season. He has 2 points in 4 games so far in the AHL, but his play has been much better. His attitude, not much his attitude, but his confidence is what the main thing was, seems to be a lot better in the AHL Rockford Ice Hogs. Seems like he's back where he wants to be, and hopefully he continues to be up to this. But Noah, briefly, what do you think about Lukas Reichel down here in the AHL, doing what he wants to do and showing us that he still is that guy?
Yeah, it's the best thing for him. I mean, we've talked about it a lot, and that's the type of player he is. He succeeds, and I think this is the best thing for him.
Yeah, it was bound to happen. It was something that we knew was going to have to happen eventually, and it seems like it's working out, which is the best thing for the Blackhawks right now. But let's move on from that. There's going to be more updates from that as the days and the weeks go on. See what he does more down the AHL. We also have a very crazy Blackhawks report, actually, from around the trade deadline of what the Blackhawks may be doing. This comes from an Athletic article saying that 32 bold predictions from each NHL team, what is going to be happening with the Blackhawks, what other teams are going to be doing, and this one here is the Blackhawks one. Now bear with me, because this is absolutely insane. The Blackhawks will do absolutely nothing. You heard that right, absolutely nothing. So this is coming from Scott Power. He says, I wish there was some more there were moves that we could talk about here, but the Blackhawks are shaping up to be the dullest trade deadline I can remember in my 10 plus years on the beat. They're opening to talking on bad contracts or being used for their cap, but it's quiet on that front so far. They also probably don't have any players on expiring contracts who are desirable to other teams, and they're not moving on from any of their younger players, which is, the obvious of what we expected. So bold or not, don't expect much. Now, one thing that really I questioned about this is, what about Tyler Johnson? He's definitely a desirable player from other teams just because of his playoff experience, like we've been speaking about. Like, we know that this team is not going to be making many moves, if any at all, but I figure that Tyler Johnson would definitely be one on an expiring contract that many teams are going to be interested in. So, Noah, what do you think about this article, or this excerpt here from the article, and what do you think about a Tyler Johnson once again?
Yeah, it makes sense that I think they're going to stand pat, and we know Kyle Davidson kind of came out and said that he's going to be pretty quiet. But I would have liked to see a Tyler Johnson trade, to be completely honest with you. Maybe bring in a 4th or a 5th round pick. Teams like Colorado need center depth. So I mean, I thought I had him on Colorado, to be completely honest with you. But the only thing I could really see, maybe, obviously through this article, I think it could be like a broker for a bad contract or something like that. It makes a lot of sense to me, this article, for sure.
Yeah, I can agree. Tyler Johnson, he's older now. He's not once what he was. He's been injured this season, so there are a lot of outside factors that may affect his not being desirable in a trade. But I like what you said about the third-party broker team, or a broker team at all. I do think if they do not make any player trades, any pick moves, or anything like that, they should get involved with taking on some cap from another team. They have too much cap space to waste on, not using it, not being able to get, a pick or a prospect just for free, basically. In most of these cases, it's going to be a 1 to 2 year contract. Let those waste out, because you're not going to be up against the cap for the next 2 years until you have to sign Connor Bedard and all these younger guys. So I think the opportunity is too good to waste if they do not, make a trade or join in on a trade to get at least something in return for taking on a better cap. And a lot of teams are looking for teams like that. So the Blackhawks are definitely one to take a look at here for sure on that front. But let's move on to today's activities. We know this was a very busy day for the Blackhawks fans. And, you hate to say it, but you also love to at the same time. It ended in the perfect way. A Patrick Kane showtime overtime breakaway goal. Seth Jones, fully his fault. There's no avoiding that. That was absolutely on Seth Jones being down there and taking way too many shots in overtime, but let's focus on the good. Like I said, what a day. What a day for Blackhawks fans. We're not going to focus on the players too much here in this video because it was a very good game from the Blackhawks nonetheless. A very good team from the team all around. All the players, apart from Seth Jones in that overtime situation, just I guess it kind of got out of the mind, whatever there, but at the end of the day, it was a perfect way to end it. The Patrick Kane overtime goal, like I said. But we have some screenshots here that I just wanted to show you guys. This one here is talking about Patrick Kane. This was before the game, which is something that I think is a very good situation for the Blackhawks. CHGO Blackhawks posted, Patrick Kane talks about the growing young group in Chicago and that they can make the organization their own. Now, I can't put the video here for copyright reasons, but I can just say what he said in the video, and that's, this team has an opportunity, like he said, to make their organization their own. A lot of people from that organization that Patrick Kane ran was gone. They're gone now. So, it's a lot of new faces in this organization, a lot of new faces, a lot of new people are going to be taking a hold of this organization, and they can have the opportunity to make that their own. I guess you can consider tonight the final goodbye to that dynasty the Blackhawks had with Patrick Kane, Jonathan Toews, Brent Seabrook, Duncan Keith, all of those guys, and I think it's the proper farewell. So, no, before we get into more of the game, what do you think about that from Patrick Kane, what he said about these players being able to make this organization their own?
I mean, I can't be the only one that, if I'm a young player on the Blackhawks and I see like a legend talking about like our young core and this and that, I mean, how motivating is that? I mean, the accolades that Patrick Kane has with the Blackhawks, I mean, I could be here for all day talking about everything that he's done. So if I'm a young guy, I'm completely motivated. I'm trying to become the best player I can be after that.
Yeah, it was such a good opportunity for those younger guys to see how much Patrick Kane meant to the city and still means to the city. You could even see after the game the standing ovation he got, the curtain calls he got, the first star coming back out, and it was just a phenomenal day to see for these younger kids what Patrick Kane meant to the city and what players like them could mean to this city. Now, I know by no means not everybody there is going to turn into Patrick Kane. That's not going to happen, but this shows how much the city loves hockey, how much the city loves this team, the players on this team, and how much it means to them deep down. You can see here, once again, from Ben Pope, even after scoring the overtime goal against the Blackhawks, Patrick Kane is the most beloved man here. His final ovation lap of the night after the game, you can see everybody in this picture is on their feet, cheering Patrick Kane on, even if they beat him. In a different situation, it might be a bit different, but where the Blackhawks are wanting to lose and losing in that fashion, I think it's only right. But, Patrick Kane's night, Chris Chelios' night, we can't forget about him as well. This whole night, I think, was a storybook ending, like I said, for this organization's dynasty of, the mid-2010s. And, it's a good way to move on. Let's just say that. It's a good way to move on. It's a good sign for the future what Patrick Kane, Jonathan Toews, all of these guys, every legend that was in the stands, everybody on the ice for the Chelios ceremony has done for this team. And the future's looking good. Let's just say that. Let's leave it at that. But, a lot of great things coming out of today for the Blackhawks. A lot of great things coming from the NHL today as well. But, what a perfect day. That's all I can say. But let me know what you guys think about the whole ceremony, the ovation, Chris Chelios, Patrick Kane, all of that. This whole day as a whole in the comments below. It's a very rare that you see a day like this in hockey for a specific team, but the Blackhawks got there. So that's all we got. If you did enjoy, make sure to give the video a like. Make sure to hit the sub button as well if you haven't already and you want to keep up to date with all of your Blackhawks news. But that's all we got. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.